Good evening, ladies. I hope we are all okay. I hope you all had a good day. How was your day? My name is Beryl. I'll be taking you through today's session. So if you're here, if you've just joined us, uh, please tell us your presence, introduce yourself. Let us know where you're joining us from. If you have a business, what's the name of your business? What are you dealing with? I can see we already have a few people here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for being here today. I have my moderator in the chat section already. So Lorian is in the chat section. I can see she's already said hi to you. Please, if you've joined us, let us know where you're joining us from. What is your name? So that we can know how many we have here. Thank you, Lauren. So that is Lauren in the chat section. She'll be moderating today's session. If you have any question, if you have any inquiries, please make sure you drop them in the chat section. She'll be catering to those questions. Hi, Ufoma. Ufoma, good evening from Lagos. And Tina is joining us from Nigeria. Yeah, I am. I'm joining you from Kenya. All right, Nairobi, Kenya. I'll be your trainer for today's session. My name is Beryl Okwach. I'm a trainer with Impact Her. That's why I'm able to take you through this session. Do we have anyone else who's here? If you're here, please introduce yourself in the chat section and tell us where you're joining us from. If you have a business, what is the name of your business? What are you dealing with? Hi, Edward. Edward is joining us from Ghana. Welcome. And thank you so much for taking your time to participate in this training session. All right, to join this training session. I know we've had other previous training sessions, and I hope they were all impactful and you found them very insightful. On the screen is the topic that we're going to cover today. So we're going to look at how to implement Google Workspace across your business. Who else do we have here? It's Nwachuku from Surulere, Lagos, Nigeria. Richard has just joined us. My name is Sola, joining from Ibadan, Nigeria, Sameno Food Ventures. I own groceries and agro services. Thank you, Sola, for joining us. Tina Epol from Abuja, Nigeria, and then Janet just came in from Ghana. Prime time, but your name is Kemi from Nigeria, and Eunice. Thank you all. Eunice, where are you joining us from? So thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you so much for taking time to join today's session. For those who've joined us, I'll repeat my name. My name is Beryl Okwach. I work with Impact Her, and I'll be your trainer for today's session. With me is Lauren. You can already see her in the chat section, Lauren Mefan. Yeah, she'll be moderating today's session. So make sure you're interacting with us in the chat section, dropping your comments, dropping your inquiries. If you want me to repeat anything, just drop it in the chat section. I'll always be coming back to take a look at that because I always want us to be on the same page as we move along. All right. So I also have my other colleague. Her name is Chidima. She's the one responsible for broadcasting this session. You're not able to see her, but she's just ensuring that the session runs smoothly and we're not experiencing any technical issues. All right, Eunice has said she's from Abuja. Adenike from Abuja as well. Endurance, Eddie Joshua Express joining from Nigeria. Welcome. So we are 4 minutes past our starting time. We're 4 minutes past our starting time. I think we should kickstart this session. So if you're ready for us to start the session, please drop me a thumbs up, drop me a smiley. You can also write a yes if you're ready for us to start the session. All right. Like I mentioned, I like us all to be on the same page. So just let me know. So I'm waiting for your go ahead. If you're ready for us to start the session, give me a yes, give me a thumbs up, give me a smiley. Ufoma, thank you. Ufoma is ready for us to start the session. Cynthia from Lagos just joined in. Charity has given me a go ahead. I will wait for the last go ahead. Those are two people, and Adenike has said yes. All right. So we'll start today's session. Like I mentioned, this is the topic we're going to cover today, implementing Google Workspace across your business. All right. So under the topic, we have three agendas that we're supposed to cover. The first agenda will be you need to discover Google Workspace. What is Google Workspace? All right. How many tools do we have under Google Workspace? The next thing, how do you boost communication across your business? All right. Because with the different tools under Google Workspace, they all have different features. They're all used for different purposes. So how can you use all of that to either collaborate with your team members and communicate with them? All right. So leveraging tools to increase collaboration. Those are the three agendas that you're going to cover today. And I'm hoping by the end of this session, we should all have an understanding or a better understanding of Google Workspace. Okay. So before we start, I know this has been mentioned in the previous trainings, but I'll just reiterate for emphasis. We have the Google Hustle Academy, which is a boot camp. It's a week-long boot camp that helps entrepreneurs or rather business owners to learn more ways on scaling their businesses, ways on how you can increase your sales, how can you grow your business. All right. There are several topics that are being covered in the Google Hustle Academy. You get to learn how to pitch your business to potential investors. You get to learn about the different funding options available. You get to learn everything 360 degrees about digital marketing. So it's a very, very insightful bootcamp. And I can tell you for sure, if the kind of information that's being shared in the bootcamp, if you look for it any other place, you'd have to pay for it. And in this case, it's very, very free. So Lauren will post the link to the Google Hustle Academy. Please make sure you click on it and sign up. If you're not able to sign up right now because we have this session ongoing, you can copy it and paste it on your browser. You can always have a look at it after, maybe sign up after this session. I can tell you for sure, after the end of the Google Hustle Academy, you can testify that it was a worthy, or you will testify that it was a worthy bootcamp and worthy of your time. Okay. So before we kickstart the session, I'll ask you a question. What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? How do you communicate with your team members? How do you collaborate? How do you ensure collaboration within your team? Let me look at the responses. Thank you, Lauren. Lauren has already posted the link to the bootcamp. So, what tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? How do you communicate with your team members? How do you ensure that your team is collaborating depending on the project? If it's a project that you're dealing with, how do you ensure communication? Is it by email? Is it by WhatsApp? How are you communicating with your team? What tools are you using? Let me see the responses. I know we are all business owners here, all right? So how do you ensure collaboration? If it's face-to-face, you can also tell me it's face-to-face. Remember, we are all here to learn from each other, all right? It's not a lecture session. We are all here to learn from each other. So I want to learn from you as much as you're here to learn from me, all right? What are your responses? Adenike says through email and Google Docs. That's really good. I'm glad that you're using these tools to communicate and collaborate. Who else? Who else? Ikena. Abosede through phone call. All right. Let me see what other response. Uche says Google Meet. So you have video calls or voice calls. That's nice. Who else? Who else? What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business. Benita says Zoom. Edward says WhatsApp. Charity, WhatsApp, and Instagram. All right. Who else? Who else? I love these responses. It shows that we have taken time to understand that communication is key and important in any kind of business. All right. So it's very impressive. Uforma says WhatsApp, Facebook, and through phone call for follow up. Nice, nice. That's good. Okay, moving on. Remember, we talked about 3 agendas. The first agenda we have to cover is discovering Google Workspace. Okay, so what do you understand by Google Workspace? Have you ever used Google Workspace? Do you know what Google Workspace is? Do you know what Google Workspace is? And if you do, are you currently using Workspace and how? So I can see from the previous responses, there was Google Meet, there was email, and then there was, what else did we see? What else did we see? Google Docs, all right? So that's part of Google Workspace, all right? So let me see, do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how? More responses. Charity says no. Thank you so much for that answer. Remember, there's no wrong or right answer. And I actually love it for everyone to be honest. I know if you're not using Google Workspace, it's important to note that down so that I know that most of us are agreeing on the topic. So I have to be very extensive in my explanation. Because at the end of this session, I just want all of us to be on the same page. All right. Thank you, Endurance. Charity and Endurance have said no, they're not using Google Workspace. All right. Is there anyone using Google Workspace? If we also have more no's, please feel free to drop that in the chat section. Nobody is here to mark right or wrong answers. Okay. No, Edward says no. I love your honesty. This is what I love. RYC says no. Benita says no, please. Right. Tina says no. This kind of honesty is what is very encouraging. And it's really, really nice. Thank you all so much. This is good feedback. Okay. So moving on. You're going to learn everything about Google Workspace. Thank you, Forma. Thank you, Susan. I can see all your responses. I can see all of them. So what is Google Workspace? If previously you had an understanding of G Suite, it's just more or less the same thing. It's the name that changed, okay? So Google Workspace is previously known as G Suite, and it's a collection of cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools and software and product developed and marketed by Google. So it's just a collection of tools that are offered by Google that can help businesses or organizations in terms of improving their communication, improving teamwork, increasing collaboration within team members. Okay, it's just a collection of cloud computing software tools. All right, just to increase collaboration, communication, teamwork. If it's to generate, if it's to generate data, more or less that. All right. So which tools are available? There are icons on the screen indicated. If you are savvy with any of the icons, let me know which icon you can identify. Which icons do you identify? Which icons do you identify? There's so many icons on the screen. Personally, I can see Gmail, so I'm sure about Gmail. Which icon can you identify? Which icon can you identify? Gmail, yes, Charity. Kamalu has identified Drive, Google Meet, Slide, Document. Edward has identified Document. More responses, more responses. All right. More responses. Sipla has identified Gmail. Gmail. I know most of us have interacted with Gmail when you're sending out our emails. I am looking at the responses, trying to see if we have more streaming in. It's well, customer calls, former Gmail, Google Docs, Google My Business. All right. Charity has identified Drive, Charity, Calendar. Nice. This is good. Ufoma, Google Meet, Uche, Google, Gmail, Google Drive, Google Meet, Google Excel. Yes. Google Worksheet. Ufoma, she's just, looking at the icons, typing. This is nice. And I love that we're being very interactive and responsive. It's very encouraging. Uche, Google Document. All right. So we will move on. The core functionality of Google Space. All right. So we are here asking you, do you understand Google Space? What is Google Space? We've talked about Google Space being a collection of cloud computing tools that you can use to increase collaboration, analyze data, increase teamwork, increase communication. So what is the core functionality? The first thing, you get to create documents and presentations. All right. In the previous icons, you've seen there's Google Docs, there is Google Sheets, there's Google Forms, we have Jamboard, we have Currents, there's Google Chat, there's Calendar, Drive, Google Meet. So the first thing, the core functionality of Workspace, you get to create documents and presentations. And then you can record, analyze, and present data. You can record, analyze, and present data. You can do this on Excel. Google Form can help you even if you have people filling out your form. You can download the form in CSV and get all that data. You can print it out depending on how you want that. Okay. With the Google Sheets, you can input formulas that can help you to analyze data. All right. So it also helps you to brainstorm ideas, manage projects, and store files. You can store files on Google Drive. You can brainstorm on ideas. Maybe you're on Google Docs. You can, if you're a collaborator, you can add another person as an editor. They are able to edit the sheet real time. So you're able to work together real time on cloud. Do you understand? And you're also able to communicate globally. If it's via Google Chat, if it is via emailing, you're able to communicate globally. All right. So when you're creating documents and presentations, you can use Google Docs. All right. You can use Google Docs or Google Slides. So this is just like, I think if you're savvy with Microsoft Word or if you're savvy with PowerPoint, it's more or less the same. But now with on Google, they're called Google Docs and Google Slides. And remember, these are cloud computing tools. You get to work on them online. All right. So you can create documents and presentations with Google Docs and Google Slides. All right. So the slides are just like PowerPoint decks. All right. The next thing, you can record, analyze, and present data. Remember when I talked about if you have people filling out your form, you can actually download the responses that you've gotten in that form via CSV file. So CSV file is like you download it like an Excel sheet. All right. So the Excel has every response on each cell. All right. So you're able to record your data and present it to someone probably who was not a collaborator on the form. Okay. And on Google Sheets, you're also able to input formulas. It's just like Excel, input formulas, analyze your data from there, calculate figures from there. So these are some tools that you can use to record, analyze, and present data. The benefits of Google Workspace, I've talked about this and I mentioned this when we started. You get to increase collaboration because with the Google Forms, with the Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Google with the Google Forms and the Google Sheets and the what is it, the PowerPoint. Yeah, you can add another person as an editor, all right, on your document, so they can make real-time changes. They can contribute to, if you're coming up with content, they can input the content there, all right. So it helps to increase collaboration. Instead of me working on my document and then emailing my other team member to work on the same document and send it back to me, I can just create the document, add them as a collaborator, and then we're able to work on the document together, okay? And then there's also improved communication. You can also leave notes on your documents. You can leave side notes on your document. If it's emailing, if it's Google Chat, you get immediate feedback if you're communicating with your team member. And it also leads to smarter working. Smarter working, just like I've mentioned, if I'm working on a document, I don't have to complete the document, send it to my team member, to send it to another team member, then they have to revert back to me. I can add them all as collaborators, reduces the time on which you're working on the document. And at the end of the day, if I reduce the amount of time I'm working on a document, I'm able to cover more tasks. Do you understand? Because I get immediate feedback. I get immediate collaboration from my team members. Okay. And there's also enhanced security because you have to ensure you use two-step verification or authentication. Two-step authentication to enhance your security of the workspace and of your documents. All right. So under increased collaboration. So Google Workspace stores your information in the cloud, enabling you to share documents and file with it. I've talked about this. So anyone you've given them collaborator rights can make changes on the document and you're able to track the changes. You're able to know who made that change. You can leave comments on side notes. So you can comment with ideas. You can work with colleagues across projects, right? So under improved communication, there's Gmail. You're able to email your colleagues, get feedback from them. There's Google Meet, which is, I've seen some of us have interacted with Zoom. So it's more or less a video conferencing tool that helps you to hold meetings online. You can put your video on. You can share presentations on Google Meet. And then there's also Google Currents, right? Google Currents helps to increase collaboration, all right? You can poll your organization, you can share posts, you can connect organizations around a shared interest. And then there's Google Chat, which is where you get to, it's like direct message. So you can inbox your colleague and they can, revert. And then you can also create groups on Google Chat. So if it's the finance department, if it's the production department, you can create groups, include the members who are supposed to be in that group. And once you share your communication from there, they're all able to see it. Okay. So you're also able to work smarter. I've talked about collecting, analyzing, and turning data into insights. This we can do with the Google Sheets and the Google Forms. And I mentioned this in the two or so slides that we looked at before this, all right? You can also secure and store files and data. You can store documents, files, and data on the cloud via Google Drive. I know most of us have interacted with Google Drive. Most of us have saved their documents on Google Drive. Personally, I save all my documents on Google Drive. So I create folders, if it's work documents, if it's personal documents, depending. So I create folders on Google Drive and store my documents there. I'm always able to access those documents even from my phone. All right. So creating the Google Workspace account, how do you get set up on Google Workspace? So there is that link, visit. You can go to workspace.google.com/signup/business starter. This link will be posted by Lauren. in the chat section. Let me see if you already have it. So Lauren will post the link to get started on Google Workspace. Make sure you click on it if you're not yet set up on Workspace, right? Then input your business name. You have to start with your business name, add your contact details. If you have a domain, please choose your domain, update your business address, and set up your login details. This is how you get set up, you get started with Google Workspace. But how do you go about it? So you can create your business email, you can add team members and users, give them emails of their own, and migrate your data and import files. So if you're using a previous email and you want all that data to go to a Workspace, you can always migrate that data. You can migrate all the emails from your old email to your Workspace account, so you don't lose any data when you're getting set up on Google Workspace. You're able to migrate old emails, old data from an old email onto Workspace if you want to get started on Google Workspace. So don't be afraid of, I will lose all the information I have on my email. No, you will not lose it. You're able to migrate all that data onto Workspace. So do we have any question at this point? Let me see. Do we have any question? Thank you so much, Lauren. Lauren has posted the Workspace link. Please click on it or copy it and paste it on your browser if you want to get started with Google Workspace. You can always look at that after this session. Richard Map and Google Lens. Richard is still talking about the icons. So do we have any questions? If you don't have a question, please also indicate no question. Like I mentioned, it helps me to know if you're on the same page or not. If you have no question, also indicate no question. If you're on the same page, indicate yes. Do you have any question? I'm not able to move. I won't be able to move to the next deck if I'm not sure if you're on the same page. So please let me know if you're on the same page. Give me a yes. If there's no question, indicate no question. Let me see. We are all so quiet. Why are we all so quiet? I don't understand. If you have, thank you, Charity. Thank you. If you have no question, please indicate no question. If you're on the same page, indicate yes, just like Charity did. Thank you, Charity. I appreciate your feedback. Do you only have Charity in this session, in this class? Is it just Charity who's following? Thank you, Endurance. No question. Thank you so much. Abosede says no questions. Thank you. So make sure you click on the Google Workspace if you're not on Workspace already. Ufoma, no question mark. Thank you. That is good feedback. I appreciate the responses. All right. So I think we will move on now. The next agenda. Remember, we have 3 agendas to cover before this session ends. So the next thing is boosting communication across your business. We've looked at what Google Workspace is. We've looked at the tools that encompass Google Workspace. We've looked at how to get started with Google Workspace. So now, how do you boost communication across your business? How do you boost communication across your business? Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? So we've looked at several tools, and I've even gone into detail about which tools you can use for what. Now, let me know which tools can you use via Google Workspace, so the tools that we've gone through, to boost communication. Thank you, Lauren. Lauren has posted the link again. Now I'm waiting for your responses. Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost your communication? Which tools can you use via Google Workspace? Remember the icons that we looked at and the content that we went over after that. Emma says, I just joined and now following quietly. Thank you so much, Emma. You're welcome, and I'm hoping you'll have a lot of takeaways when this session ends. So, which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? Email. Yes, Edward, emailing. Thank you. Roy, see no questions. Sipla is following. I'm glad we're all following. Victoria, sorry I'm late. Better late than never. Better late than never. All right? Sipla, no question. Thank you. Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? Edward has said email, which is very correct. Any other tool that you think you can use to boost communication? I can give you one answer. I can use Google Chat to improve communication. Which other do you think you can use to improve on communication? Which other tool do you think you can use to improve communication? Edward has said email. I have said Google Chat. From the tools that we've gone through, which one can you use? So I'm waiting for one more answer before we move on. It's not just Edward who's been in class. Let me see. Which tools can you use to via Google Workspace to boost communication? No response? Does it mean we all understand? Does it mean Ufoma says WhatsApp? Yes, you can improve your communication via WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is not one of the tools under Google Workspace. Remember, we went over different icons. We looked at the icons on the screen, and then we looked at which ones you can use to record and analyze data, which one you can use to collaborate, which ones you can use to improve communication. So under Google Workspace, Google Meet. Thank you. That was the answer I wanted to see. Google Meet. Akanji. So that's really good. Thank you for that. All right. Just hold on. So we'll move on. Tools that you can use to improve communication. You can use Gmail. All right. Send out emails, receive emails. You can use Google Meet, hold video conferencing meetings. You can meet with your team members on Google Meet. All right. Could be 5 team members, 10 team members. You can set up schedule meetings. You can schedule meetings on your calendars and attend meetings on Google Meet. All right. So they're just like in-person meetings, but this is now virtual. You're even able to share your screen. If it's a presentation, if it's a deck that you want to go through, you can do that on Google Meet. And then there's also Google Current, which helps to connect organizations around shared interests. All right. With Google Currents, you can share posts, you can poll your organization, you can trade insights with communities and collaborate with your team members. And then there's Google Chat. It's just like the normal chat that people have over their phone. All right. You can even create groups on Google Chat. All right. So there's Gmail. You communicate globally and it is using Google's free email tool. So you just need to have an email. If it's your team members, when you're setting up, when you're getting started with Gmail, when you're getting started with Workspace, you can create emails for your team members. All right. Then you can always communicate with them on email. If you have attachments, you can send them. You can send them as file attachments. All right. You can create mailing lists, group lists, whereby if you send out one email, it can go out. You can even send out an email to the whole, if you have even 10 employees, you can send out one email to all of them if you have a mailing list. All right. So Gmail helps with communication. And then there's also Google Meet. Remember, we said Google Meet is a video conferencing tool. So you can have meetings on Google Meet. You can have them, you can turn off your cameras if you want. You can turn on your cameras if you want. You can present if you want. All right. You can have trainings on Google Meet. You can have presentations on Google Meet, or even just team meetings. So, like for organization, we use Google Meet because most of us are in different countries. Like I mentioned, I am in Kenya. We have other people in Benin, others in Cameroon, others in Burundi, so others in Nigeria, Ghana, and we all get to work together. We have meetings, we have weekly meetings, dependent on if you're in a different department or if it's just a general team meeting. We hold our meetings on Google Meet, right? And then there's also currents. You can use currents to engage employees. You can foster meaningful conversations, stay connected. Like I mentioned, you can also share polls. All right, you're able to share polls. You can trade insights on Google Currents. You can collaborate with team members. You can connect organizations, or rather, you connect all your team members or connect your organization under people with shared interests. Do you understand? And then there's Google Chat. So from direct messages to group conversations, I can have a direct conversation with my team member, or I can create a group. And if it's the finance group, then I can just put all the communication edging on finance on that group. So I don't have to text every single person in the finance team separately. Do you understand? So top tips to maximize your communication. How do you enhance your communication? So the first thing, you can create in-person communication. Recreate in-person communication. How do you enhance your communication? How do you maximize your communication? Recreate in-person communication. Stay organized. Create team mailing lists and set up project or team rooms, right? And we're going to go over this in detail in the next slides. So when we talk about recreating in-person communication, what do we mean? How can you recreate in-person communication? You can schedule regular team calls and check-ins via Google Meet and Hangouts. All right. I've talked about, for example, organization having team meetings. So there are departmental meetings and then there's general meetings. You can schedule regular team calls and check-ins. The next thing, you can connect with colleagues and teams across the globe. You're not just limited to your specific geographical area. You can brainstorm on ideas, work on team projects, and hold virtual events. All right. So you can brainstorm on ideas. You can work on team projects. So remember, if it's on, maybe you're creating a deck, maybe it's about the company profile and you want to talk about finance, you want to talk about your numbers, you want to talk about the different project teams, you can add persons from each department as collaborators on your document, and they can work on that slide themselves, real time. All right. And you can see the changes as they make the changes. All right. And then you can also hold virtual events. Then it's easy because this, I would only just need the internet to be able to access these tools. And I can join from my mobile or from my desktop device. If I have a tablet, I can do that on the tablet as well. All right. The next thing, it helps you to stay organized. You need to stay organized. How can you keep your documents organized? The first thing, if I want to have a meeting, I can't just wake up and decide, you know what, I'm going to call Ada right now. Maybe Ada is busy. Maybe she had other meetings lined up. Maybe Edward is busy and he had other meetings lined up. But I can set up a meeting on calendar. I can schedule a meeting on calendar and they get to accept from their end. So when they accept, I know they will be available for that meeting. Okay? So I can set up calendar meetings via calendar. Do you understand? You can track meetings. You can track training sessions. So if I'm set to have a training, let's say with, if I have a training with you again next week, it's already scheduled. They've sent me the invite. Once I accept it, it's indicated on my calendar. And then I can put a notification on so that maybe 30 minutes before the training, I get a notification. So it's very highly unlikely that I will miss meetings. All right. Under creating team mailing lists, how do you create team mailing lists, or how do you work around team mailing lists? You can create a Google Groups email list. You can create a Google Groups email list. If it's the operations department, you can create a group email for them. If it's finance, I don't know why I'm talking about finance so much. You can create a group for them and then send updates on those emails, share resources on those emails. It helps to increase your visibility and foster community. So no one is left out. Everyone in that department is included in that group email. So no one is left out. All right. And setting up project rooms or team rooms. How can you do this? You can help team members stay connected by creating a room in Google Chat or chat in email. Remember, I talked about the possibility of creating groups on Google Chat. It's more or less the same thing. All right. So it helps to it improves just communication and improves the tedious work of texting each person per person per person per person per individual. All right. So set up project or team rooms, which helps to increase your communication, enhance your communication. All right. Do we have any questions at this juncture? At this point, do we have any questions? So if you also remember the norm, if you don't have any questions, indicate no questions. If you don't have any questions, indicate no questions. I am waiting for your go ahead. I'm not able to move on to the last agenda until you give me a go ahead. If there are no questions, please indicate no questions. If there are no questions, please indicate no questions. Thank you, Ada. I have two Adas. There's Ufoma Ada and Ada Odo. Wow. Thank you, Ada Odo. So Ada Odo has said no question. Any other person? Any other person? If you're ready for us to continue, give me a yes, a smiley, a thumbs up, a hands up, or your favorite emoji. I will only wait for one. They're all quiet. I don't understand why we are quiet. I don't understand why we are all quiet. All right. It's only Ada who's being encouraging. Benita says no question, please. Thank you, Benita. Please always make sure. Thank you, the other Ada. So Ufoma Ada says no question. Thank you so much for that. All right. So how do you leverage tools to increase collaboration? Leveraging tools to increase collaboration. This is the last agenda that we're going to cover in this session. How do you leverage on tools? What tools can you leverage to increase collaboration on Google Workspace? So which tools can you use to increase collaboration? So in the previous section, we talked about communication. How do you increase communication? We talked about Gmail, Google Chat, Google Current, and Google Meet. So those you can use to improve communication on Google Workspace. But which other tools can you use to increase collaboration? And I've mentioned this even when we were starting the session. I mentioned these tools. Which tools can you use on Google Workspace to increase collaboration? I think one or two answers before we move on. So let me see. Your responses kindly. Which tools can you use on Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Collaboration is the key word here. Which tools can you use on Google Workspace to increase collaboration? So you can share with your team members, make them make changes on documents. I'm giving you hints so that you can give me responses. Which tools can you use in Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Responses, going once, going twice. I'm not relenting. I'm sure one or two of you will give me responses. So let me see. Which tools can you use in Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Email. All right. Former Ada says email. Any other person? Which tools can you use in Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Janet says no question, it's clear. Thank you, Janet. Janet Serwa. Thank you. All right. So I guess we're all quiet. I'm hoping we're going to be a bit more interactive. Penny says email. All right. So let's look at the tools that we can use to increase collaboration. Collaborating across projects and teams. Why is it important to collaborate across projects and teams? Why is it important? The first thing, you're able to brainstorm on ideas. You're able to brainstorm on ideas. You can share ideas. All right. I can input my idea and someone else inputs their idea and we just talk about it. All right. Agree to disagree, weigh out our options, brainstorm on solutions if it's a problem or a challenge that we have encountered in a project. So you're able to brainstorm ideas. You can also share working files. If it's on Google Docs, on Google Sheets, on Google Forms, on Google Decks, all right, you're able to share working files. You can also make suggestions and tag colleagues. You can make suggestions and tag colleagues, all right? And you can track changes. If there are any changes that anyone has made, you can always track those changes. So on Jamboard, I don't know if any of us has interacted with Jamboard. Jamboard is more or less like, you see the whiteboards that we have, blackboards or whiteboards. So I'll talk about the whiteboards mostly. So the whiteboards that people have during trainings or maybe in physical sessions that we've had. So these are just virtual whiteboards. So they are virtual whiteboards. I can create a Jamboard, then I can share the link with my team members. I can share the link with my team members. And when they input their ideas on Jamboard, I'm able to see them as they write on the Jamboard real time. All right. So if I had a Jamboard link right now, I would post it in the chat section. And when you click on it and you go and write anything on the board, from where I am, I'm able to see you even as you write. All right. So we are able to share ideas. We can brainstorm together. I don't have to be with you physically to enable a brainstorming session. Do you understand? So that's the benefit of Jamboard. And then with Google Drive, it helps with collaboration. Why? Because when I store the files on my Google Drive, if I have them in folders, I can give anyone that I would like access to the folder. So if they need to look at any document, they don't have to call me to send the documents to them. I can just give them rights to that folder. If it's viewing rights, if it's editing rights, I can give them rights to that folder and they can take whatever document that they have or that they want rather. Do you understand? Making suggestions and tagging colleagues. So you can also make suggestions if it's on Google Docs or the Google Decks, all right? So the decks, when I say the decks, I mean the PowerPoint more or less, all right? So I can mention my colleagues on the document if I need their input on anything. If I need them to action on anything, to take action on anything, I can mention them. They will get alerts that so and so mentioned you on this document. And when they go to that document, they can see what it is I want them to take action on. And when they take that action, especially let's say on Google Docs, all right? So you can see, like, for the example in the screen, there's Kaori Kim has asked Jacob, make text bigger, all right? So Jacob went ahead and made the text bigger, so the vision bit, and then he clicked resolve. So Jacob didn't have to call Kaori to tell her, I've already worked on the document, I've resolved it. He just made the change and clicked on resolve. So Kaori will get an alert indicating, telling her that Jacob has actioned whatever it is she had requested for him to do. Okay? So you can make suggestions and tag colleagues. It helps with, you can work on one document together and just finish it, make changes on it. Basically that, all right? And then I've talked about tracking changes. You can view all edits made to your documents and files. You can restrict access. If it's just viewing rights, you can give someone viewing rights. They just come and look at the document. They can't make any change. They can't download anything. They can't edit. They can't download. They just view. You can also give editing rights. They can make changes on the document. They can download the document. Do you understand? So depending on what kind of access you want to give to your team members, you're able to track that change. Okay? So we've covered the last part of our session. We've talked about what is Google Workspace. We've looked at the tools that encompass Google Workspace. How do you get started with Google Workspace? Which tools can you use for which tools can you use to increase communication? Which tools can you use for collaboration? All right. So I will be taking questions at this point. Do we have do we have any questions? I was said they had given me, these are responses to my previous question, Google Chat, Google Chat. Do we have any questions? If you don't have a question, please indicate no question. Lauren will drop the attendance link at this point. So as we wait for Lauren to drop the attendance link, please, if you have any question, let me know. If you want me to repeat on anything, let me know. If you're good, please also indicate you're good. Let me know you're fine. You're fine with the training. You're okay with where we're at. Lauren will post the attendance link. Make sure you fill the form. Make sure you fill the attendance form. All right. Make sure you fill the attendance form with your correct name so that the correct names appear on your certificate. Edward has said repeat. Which part would you want me to repeat? Benita, no question. Edward has asked me to repeat, but so I don't understand which part he wants me to repeat. So maybe you can be clear on that. Thank you, Benita. Benita says no question. Lauren will post the attendance link. Please make sure you fill the attendance form. Make sure you fill the Edward has talked about how to leverage tools to increase collaboration. How to leverage tools to increase collaboration. So I'll just go over the slides quickly. How to leverage on tools to increase collaboration. I'll just go over the slides quickly just so we are clear, right? So why is it important to collaborate? Why is it important to collaborate on projects? Why is it important for your team to collaborate? The first thing, it helps to brainstorm ideas. We can work on ideas together at the same time. You can also share working files, all right? So if you're looking at brainstorming ideas, there is Jamboard. There's a tool called Jamboard on Google Workspace. So it's a virtual whiteboard. If you're savvy with what a whiteboard is, it's a virtual whiteboard. I can create my Jamboard. If I share my Jamboard link with my team members, let's say I share a Jamboard link with you right now on the chat. When you click on the link, it will take you direct to my Jamboard. All right. If we were talking about starting, maybe we wanted to launch a new product into the market, you're a business and we want to launch a new product into the market, but we have to look at the pros and cons. We have to look at the risks involved, and we want to brainstorm so that by the end of the day, we come up with a decision on that. I can use the Jamboard, share the link with my team members, have them click on the link. So any idea they input on the Jamboard, I'm able to see them. So if I posted my Jamboard right now and you went and clicked on it and started writing on it, I would be seeing, I will see what it is you're writing real time, right? So you're also to share what you're also able to share working spaces. You're also able to share working files. So if it's Google Forms, if it's Google Docs or Google Sheets or Google Slides, I'm able to give collaborator rights to different team members. If it's viewing rights, if it's editing rights, I'm able to share. I can give collaborator rights to any of my team members. They can make any changes they want on that document. All right. So you're also able to make suggestions and tag colleagues. When we're looking at making suggestions and tagging colleagues, here it is. And I gave this example. You can see, like from the screen, I have Kaori. This is a Google slide. So Kaori asked Jacob to make the text bigger. The part that's indicated the vision. So Kaori asked Jacob to make the text bigger. And Jacob went ahead and made it bigger and clicked on resolve. So Kaori didn't have to call Jacob and tell him, you know what, look at the slides, there's something I need you to do on it. No. So she just input side notes. All right. She input side notes and mentioned and tagged Jacob. Jacob will get the alert. Jacob came in, made the change, clicked on resolve. Kaori will get the alert. They don't have to make calls to each other. Do you understand? And you're also able to track changes. Remember, if I'm giving editing rights to my team members, if they make any change on the document, I'm able to see that change. All right. So I hope we are all clear up to there. I hope we are all clear. The attendance link has not been posted yet. Lorian. Okay, so I think Lorian has logged out of this session. I think she's experiencing some technical issues. Let me look at the form. All right, just give me a few minutes. I'm getting the form. Just sorry, hold on a bit. I'm trying to get the form for you. Right, so there is the form. Please click on the attendance form. Make sure you fill the form. I'm giving you like 2 minutes to fill the attendance form before we end this session. Please click the attendance form. I'm posting it again. Fill the attendance form. Yes. So make sure you click and fill the attendance form before this session ends. All right. And then I will remind you all to sign up for the Google Hustle Academy, which is a 1-week-long boot camp that helps you in learning how to scale your business. How can you grow your business? In what aspect can you grow your business? And it's a free boot camp. You don't pay to attend the Google Hustle Academy. So I'll also post the link to Google Hustle Academy. Make sure you click on it and paste it on your browser. You can look at it after the session. There it is. I've posted the link to Google Hustle. So let me just indicate that so that it's not confusing. Google Hustle Academy. So please fill the sign up for Google Hustle Academy. And again, if you want to self-learn, if you feel like there are so many things that you need to look at and you need an avenue where you can self-learn a lot, you can go to learningdigital.withgoogle.com/digital skills slash courses and self-learn. All right. I'm also sharing the link to that. I'm also sharing the link to that right now. All right. So you can self-learn on that link. If you want to self-learn, you can self-learn on that link. It is the end of our session, so I'll also remind you to follow us on our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can go to Digital Skills for Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow us on our social media pages. You can also go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Impact Her. Impact Her. Follow us on our social media pages. If you fill the form, please let me know you filled the form. At the moment, this is the end of this session. You have one more session remaining. Let me see when it will be. So you also have one session remaining. That's going to be tomorrow at 4 p.m. So make sure, please, you join tomorrow's session. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. You have a session tomorrow, 4 p.m. Make sure you join in on time. Don't miss tomorrow's session. It's going to be the last session. All right? Okay. Bye. I think this is it. So bye. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.